Hello, I'm Euge Valovirta, and this video is the first of the series where I'm gonna talk a bit about music business, mainly music business from artists and from a record label's point of view. I've been a recording artist for about 20 years. Several bands, gained some success along the way, sometimes more, sometimes less, but also I have worked as an A&R manager at Universal Music Finland and Spinefarm Records. Nowadays I work only as a consultant. My main job is being a guitar player in Syra, but I studied cultural production at the UMac University of Applied Sciences 10 years ago, and I never graduated. So now I decided that I will get my degree. So this video series is a part of my thesis for the University of Applied Sciences. So I have a experience on both sides of the table, so to say, and I've gained some success as an recording artist, musician, but also as an A&R manager by signing and being the A&R manager of very successful bands in Finland and worldwide, internationally. So I can say that I have a bit of knowledge of the business, so I'm sharing my thoughts and the knowledge with you. And on this first, I've divided this into different episodes where I'm going through each aspects or things regarding the business. So on this first episode, I'm going to talk about A&R. You know, what is A&R? I remember when I was a kid, I used to always wonder that, because on some albums just A&R, there was always the same guys, like John Kaladner, or at least I guess some point it's just John Kaladner. And there's a lot of other legendary IRs that are responsible for signing many great bands which we all know and love. So what is an A&R? A&R. And A&R is it comes from the words artist and repertoire. So A&R is responsible for the new signings and keeping the current roster vivid and alive. And A&R is the person who is the link between the label and the band or management. So all the bands have a guy in the label, and that's the A&R. And A&R, or there might be several A&Rs on the label, and they all have their own roster which they're responsible of. So his A&R, he or she is basically responsible for the label's artistic roster. Sometimes and usually also financially responsible. So it's all about the P&L, profit and loss. And if you manage to sign bands that make profit, you're considered as good A&R. And I worked, like I told you, I was an A&R for about 10 years, but now I do only occasional consulting work for Universal Music Finland. So is there any schools to be an A&R? Not really. I mean, how I got into being an A&R was that being a musician and my friends worked at the label, and then when I was studying the cultural management thing, I happened to get like a work spot, trainee spot, whatever the word is, you know, as a trainee to label, because, you know, I asked my friend who was the A&R then, and hey, you know, it was actually my bandmate from Suburban Tribe that, you know, I like to come and, you know, learn the business a bit and see what's going on. And I thought, yeah, sure. So I started at Universal Music Finland, so Spinefarm Finland, and I happened to manage to sign a couple of bands that, you know, turned out to be pretty successful ones. And then when a couple of my friends there, they went to another jobs, another endeavors, I was offered to be the A&R, to run and actually a label manager, to run the Spinefarm label. So that's how I got in. There's I guess there's no right or wrong way, but I mean, usually A&Rs are people that are, but you have to, you know, have a good ear for music. You have to kind of be musical somehow. You don't necessarily have to play anything. I mean, most of the A&Rs are also musicians. Some might say successful ones because they work at the label, but that's another story. There's also been very successful musicians who work as an A&R, like me. Well, I don't know if I'm not that successful, but I managed to make a living. So yeah, I mean, but there's no criteria. I mean, I guess you just have to be on the right place at the right time and prove yourself. I mean, some people just have the ear and the instincts to, you know, guess what's going to sell and what not, because you never know. I mean, if you sign 10 bands or artists, if one of them becomes really successful, then you've done a good job. But anyway, what else the A&R does? You know, A&R oversees the recordings, the video shoots, the promo shoots, the marketing campaigns. It's kind of like a project manager would be in a regular business, because music business is a bit something else, at least sometimes. And he is, like I told you, he is the connection between the bands, because there's so much people, so much stuff working on the label, the promotional marketing department, the digital financing, graphic design, you name it. And you have to have one guy that has, you know, everything under his, you know, so he rules the thing, and he is the guy that speaks inside the label and then speaks to the band and management, and he is the link. And sometimes, or usually, A&R chooses, or at least his opinions are listened when the bands or management or the label decides what will be the first single, the first video, what is the direction. It's usually A&R has the vision, and if things work really well, the A&R and the band, they have the same vision, and they work together towards the same goal, which is to make the band successful. And if let's say the band, they've kind of lost their vision, they don't know what to do, no, they're a bit lost in their career, maybe A&R can give them some ideas how to develop, how to do things, maybe suggest songs by other artists to them, or hook them up with a producer or songwriter, especially in pop music. You know, when there's these songwriting camps, A&Rs usually arrange those. They invite producers and songwriters and artists, and then they try to find the right combinations, because the main goal is to come up with great songs for great different artists so that everybody will benefit. So A&R is really important person, and usually the person that the bands at least see when if someone from the label, let's say, is coming to your show, you get a hint that hey, there might be someone from that and that label. That's usually the A&R person checking out new bands. And how you get a record deal from a label's perspective, there's a lot of demos coming. I have actually found a few bands through the demos. Then I was like, oh, this is pretty good, and then I went to see them live, and I was really impressed and so on. But usually it's word to mouth thing. A&Rs, they are quite into the scene, their local town, city or country's scene. They have friends who give them tips, producers, especially in a pop. A lot of the times that artists get signed, it's via some producer who has found this young talent, and then they made a demo or something, and then this producer who knows the A&R, because they work together, they meet, and the producer presents, hey, I have this new artist, this is a cool song, would you consider, and so on. In metal, in my experience, well, I listened to all the demos, but I never had time to answer them all. So it's like, don't call us, we'll call you. And sometimes I called or sent an email and then went to meet the band and saw them. But most of the time is like, you work with managers. This big band's manager might have started to work on with a smaller band, and he might say that, hey, okay, I have this new band, they're really good, I think you should check them out. I already got them a booking agent or whatever, and then we meet and maybe go to the show and stuff. Because it's really important that, because nowadays with the studio technique, technology, everything, you can make total shit sound like, chocolate. So, but that's why you need to see the band live. Whether are they or in person, what's the charisma? Do they have any, what's the thing? If the band can deliver live, then they sure can deliver in the studio. So that's really important. It's always, it has been, it is, and I think it will be, especially in rock and metal music, where bands usually play their stuff live. Maybe use some keyboards or something from backing tracks or something, but in I don't know, techno or whatever, I guess you don't really have to do that. Press the play and off you go, and that's fine, because you have made the music, you have worked your ass off in the studio, and that's just that genre. So in that genre I have not that much experience, because I worked on a rock and metal things, but I don't know if that makes any sense to see a band, or maybe just to see the crowd reaction and stuff. But yeah, in rock and metal it's really important that you get to see the band and see them play and how they work. So yeah, I think that's briefly, and or not so briefly, what an A&R does. So and how you approach an A&R. A tip when you're doing a promo package or thinking of sending a demo nowadays via email, put 1 or 2 songs of your best songs, work on those. 1 good promotional picture of the band, 1 short biography, not like we started when we were 16 and then Jonas met this one and Caleb did this and then he went to army and came back. Now there's so many demos coming and stuff, so it has to be short and to the point. Okay, here's what it's about, here's our music, here's our picture, here's our next shows. So, please, get back to us if you find this, if you like this, or come to the show. 1 or 2 songs, nothing more. And remember, you can only give first impression once. So be really critical to you. Don't send any half-assed, like, yeah, I've gotten a demos where it's like, yeah, I mean, this was recorded 6 months ago in our bass player's apartment. It sounds like shit, but we're a lot better nowadays, We haven't just had time to record anything new. That's like, what the fuck you send me this then? I mean, so the first impression, okay, let's say that same band 6 months after, 1 year after, they made a great demo and blah blah blah. When I got the A&R got the email, he remembers, oh, it's this band, yeah, whatever. Well, okay, I probably some other rubbish like the last time. I'll check this out, maybe if I have time or interest. So the first impression, really be critical, and because labels don't sign bands or artists just purely out of just signing. I mean, because music industry is a business like any other. So the artists, the albums, they're the product, like Nike has shoes or some other sports gear. Labels have music. So you have to bring something, valuable to them. They have a roster already, big bands, they sell stuff, and then if they're gonna sign any new bands, it have to be like, damn, this is the greatest ever. We don't have this kind of artist or whatever, and labels don't, and A&Rs, it's not about quantity, it's quality. So when you are thinking doing your first demo and stuff, please do it as the best you can, because you can only give first impression once. Okay, there was a little bit other stuff covered too than just the A&R, but since A&R he's involved in everything in the label. So that's why, this was a bit longer than I expected, but hopefully you found this interesting and informative. I might put some bullet points somewhere, maybe not. I have to see if I remember to say everything. But this was episode number 1. Thanks for watching, and I'll do a playlist to my channel, so there will be, or if maybe there is already, episodes 2 and 3 about the music business in artists and record labels point of view. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. Bye.